your brain and set your priorities before you even put yourself first. And so a routine refresh is critical. Refresh your routine. Why is this important? Because there is so much science that talks about the power of your morning routine. And there's also so much noise out there about the morning routine. But all of the articles out there tend to be written by guys that have 2.5 hours before work starts to somehow drink mushroom tea and meditate and go to yoga and exercise and drink bulletproof coffee and sit in an infrared sauna. And I don't know what planet these people live on, but they clearly don't have children or a job they need to get to at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm being realistic. I'm being realistic about the fact that you need a morning routine, but you need one that works for you. You see, I had a morning routine that used to take me 30 to 40 minutes last year when I had more time. I've had a morning routine that took an hour when I had time and the ability to go for a jog in the morning. I incorporate that in the morning routine. My morning routine, 10 minutes long. That's it. It's 10 minutes long because that's what works for me in this season of my life. And so I'm inviting you to do a routine refresh, where I'm going to walk you through the science of a morning routine. I'm going to take you step by step in this guide through how you should be thinking about the components of what you want to do every morning in your morning routine. And I am also begging you to customize it so that it works for you. Because the truth is, if it doesn't work for where you are in your life right now, you're not going to do it. And the most effective morning routine is the one that you actually do every morning. I've got a question from Diego, and this is going to relate back to your morning routine. From Diego, I have a dream of opening my own restaurant, but I'm terrified to start. How many of you have ever thought about opening up a restaurant or starting a small business or having some kind of side hustle? It doesn't have to be a restaurant. The American dream used to be, I really dream of owning my own home. Do you know what the American dream is now for the majority of people? It's, I want to own my own business. And so whether you're interested in launching a restaurant or you would love to have a business of any size, shape, or form in any vertical that you can think of, this is a question that you need to pay attention to, okay? Because I know this is also impacting you. I'm terrified to start. I know I have the potential to be really successful, but I just can't get myself to actually do something about it. You know, sometimes when the dream is so big, the fact that it's so big becomes paralyzing. Because you think about where you are right now and you think, holy cow, that thing that I really want? I don't even, how do you even start when the dream is so big? So here's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna shrink it down. I don't want you to think about opening a restaurant. I don't want you to think about launching that business, because that's something that will happen a year from now. What I want you to think about is I want you to shrink your thinking. I want you to think about researching a restaurant. I want you to think about preparing to launch a restaurant. I want you to think about learning about launching a restaurant. Do you see how just saying, I want to learn about launching a restaurant changes how you feel versus I'm launching a restaurant, which feels so big. You're just in a phase where you're learning and researching this idea, which all of a sudden takes all the pressure off, doesn't it? So that's number one. Let's shrink it. Let's not talk about launching it. Let's not talk about building it. Let's talk about researching and learning about it, okay? So that takes the pressure off. Then the next thing that I want you to do is I want you to focus on something that I talk about all the time. If you're researching and learning about launching a restaurant or a business, all I want you to do, I want you to find 10 to 15 minutes. That's it. That's all it takes. 10 to 15 minutes. And I want you to do one thing for 10 or 15 minutes a day that helps you learn or research about the idea of launching a restaurant. How many of you are starting to feel a little bit lighter? How many of you are starting to feel like, holy cow, thinking about it that way, I actually could get started?
So, what do you get from the video? But you can share with me what you get from the video.
Routine.
The routine. So what is the routine?
doing the same thing.
Do the same thing. But before you do the same thing, do a research, right?
Research, right.
Do a research and learn and make it like a routine every single day. So that's why we have a routine today, a market update from our CEO Leon Lee. He will give you the routine update about the market right now. Thank you.
Started today, making this smaller and make it.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Leon.
You know, the microphone. Okay, good morning, everybody. How are you doing today? Good. Okay, just a routine. And the routine in the video says that every morning and we do it. Actually, it's as good as a routine and also it's consistently. Do it every day. It will be better. So, what is the market update today? When I'm on the way here, in the morning, I normally look up my phone and read some news. It's just a habit, and it's not good to look at the phone in the morning, but it's good if we get something out from the phone, and that is with the news. So I think it's just consumer price is rising again, which means it's higher than expectation. It's not good for inflation. Consumer price higher, meaning is we have more inflation. So this morning is 0.75, 0.7% is higher. So you have a slide to show? Okay, so this is employment. We have a consumer price today. Okay, so it's a whole.
No sound, I can't hear Leon.
Okay.
Yes.
So did we see us, heard us out earlier? Okay, good. So the consumer price is rises 0.75 month to month. Okay, it's in January. So is this good? Not good. So if you realize the interest rate in the last few days are higher because the inflation clouded, inflation is still there. Just let you know. Sometimes you will wonder why interest rate up and down during this time. So inflation now is the key to measure the inflation, to measure the interest rate, and to push the trigger interest rate higher or lower. Okay, so that is one news today. And one is we have inflation is 6.4 based on last month. So the overall in 1 year is a 6.4. It's still okay. It's better news. But this morning, the consumer wholesale price index is higher. Okay. The retail, in terms of economy, retail sale is rising by 3%. This is a good sign. Good sign. Okay, so that means the economy activity is still going on very well. Okay, so that is the thing. Okay, let me get going. The home builder sentiment is another data indicator showing this housing market is getting better. And we've seen it in the last few weeks. Is right? Is this right, Alex? So we saw, we've been discussing about the housing market. How is the housing market, real estate market happening in this year? And then we see it is the data is showing is that the builder, they have an index and they do a survey every month. And the builder sentiment is showing that the builders are having more activities. It's like doing construction based on the current data and the future expectation. So the builder sentiment index is higher. And that is a good sign for our business. Okay, when the builders start doing the construction, meaning they have to base on the data to do the work. Just to let you know. Okay, housing inventory, yes, it's dropped. This is based on the information. There's more buyers entering the market. They got the house in pending, in contract, so the inventory is lower. So if you have been working with the buyers, let them know the inventory is start dropping out, which means have a less number of units of houses for sale on the market. Okay. So, any question about the data? It's a mix, right? It's inflation is still there. But the buyers enter the market. Retail sale is higher. Right? Inventories drop. So basically, the inflation for the whole year is 6.4%. So the data is actually, the trend is going better for this year. And we talked about it 6 months ago. This was okay. This is earlier this year. Probably is how the real estate market is getting rebounded. And yes, it's getting rebounding now.
Excuse me. Regarding inventory, because
inventory is lower.
It's lower. Any reason why the inventory is lower?
Yes, we talk. We discussed sometime. I remember, is inventory is down, lower. It's just because we have a higher demand. The consumer purchase more real estate.
Okay, so it's being sold. I mean,
It's sold in
listings are being
contract.
sold. Okay.
Yes.
What about the new listing?
New listing. How much is the listing more?
Are we
I
getting
think this is
more?
higher too, but I don't have a data in here in this slide. Probably we send out the data how much higher because it's a nationwide. We will talk about it maybe in Santa Clara only, but nationwide probably it's difficult to get the data. It's not relevant. Do we have a data here? I think we do have a data here. Santa Clara County real estate. Okay, so we have here this is prices on the left. And on the right, we will see is the number of sale closed per transaction, but it doesn't have a comparison. But that's the reason we have a 349 closed sale per day. Wow, that's a good number. Pending sale per day is 223. And then it's the new listing is 173, 79. So we have is a sold pending. If we calculate in a window of time is 1 day. We see it's right there. It's a data. It's very recently data, and this is 349 closing, 223 is pending, and 179 is new listing per day. This is just a certain time. It's just last week probably. So we have a less new listing, but sold is more.
We'll talk about less listings. Or is there a reason why the sellers are holding back?
The sellers holding back right now is depend, but it's a lot of buy. The seller decide to not to put it for sale just because they don't need it. They sell it. They have to move to buy another one.
Correct. So the rising prices pretty much is there a fear for the seller? Because I mean, right now when they put it on the market, most likely they have a lot of equity to there is a lot of equity on their home. It's just sitting there. So is there what is the fear? Is it where to go after they sell the house, or?
That is, I don't have that data, and I think each individual sellers have a different reason to sell. Most of the houses on the market today, they already been on the market for a while.
Right.
So the house now is still actively on the market because they couldn't sell last month, and they're still selling right now. But I think it's those inventories will running out very soon. That means we can have a stringer inventory. Now, if the seller doesn't want to sell or not to sell, I don't know. Probably they have too much equity. They're not in needed to sell, and they expected the home price maybe going up the better a little bit in the next few months. Maybe multiple reasons. Put yourself in a seller position why you don't sell today. Probably you don't need it to sell. You're not decided yet, or you want to wait for the next few months, another few months for the price getting better to sell. For in terms of buyer, we have more buyers coming into the market. And last time we talked, this is a buyer coming from China, mainland, and they bring the money to U.S. because their currency is too high now. They take advantage of this U.S. lower values comparing to versus their Hong's currency. And also is because the interest rate just dropped down a little bit, so the buyer entered the market. But the last few days, the interest rate is higher. Okay, it's higher again. A little bit higher. Now it's a little bit above 6%, probably, or 6%. It's up and down. If anyone here have a buyer, want to get a jumbo loan the jumbo loans rate probably now is better than conventional loan. It's just investor that they put money in the market more. So there is just a data. I don't have much details information why the sellers are selling. I don't have that information. Yeah, probably this we will learn it and research and learn it more.
Question.
Because they want more than the existing price right now. I had a customer yesterday I went to, and then like it's just like less than $1 million, and then they want 1.2, and I told them no, it cannot work. This is for 1.2, it's only like 980 or 950.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Right? Maybe that's a good opinion. What's one good input? Yes. So probably the seller, some sellers they want higher price because they think they just wait a few more months they get a higher price. So the decision here is here's the thing. They're getting into the discussion today. Why the seller doesn't make the decision to sell their houses at the price today, at today's prices. Probably is the topic today. We talk about the decision. Why the seller, why our consumer or the sellers or the buyer doesn't want to make decision today to sell or to buy or to do something at today's condition. Okay. So the answers, for example, Vita, or just say, okay, probably because they want to wait for a few more months, wait for price higher in the next few months, right? Probably. So let me ask you a question: why the buyer or the seller doesn't make a decision? Do you have any idea? Why you cannot make a decision and why you decided to come to the training today? Let's say we make this decision every day. Let's say that way. And every day we make every small to bigger decision and why people don't make decision and why people make decision. Anyone has an opinion of why?
Because of high interest rate.
Okay.
Yeah, because they don't want to take advantage of that high interest rate at this time. Even though you tell them later on you're gonna, refi it, but still they have not make a decision. They have something in their mind that it might be later on they might have a better one.
Okay, so that's good. They have a reason, they have a data, they have information that is they want more, and what is happening right now it doesn't align or match with what they want, right? Yes?
They don't talk to us.
They don't talk to you. Wow.
To me and they see something.
Okay, so you know how to make them to say yes, but just because they don't talk to you. Okay, interesting. Okay, that's
I think the answer to I have to answer to your question of why. I think there's fear as far as the buyer is concerned. The interest rate they're still waiting for it to go down, or if they buy right now they get the lower interest rate, or if they wait it may go higher. And then greed on the seller side. They want more money.
good. Okay.
But nobody can guarantee if it's going to go up.
Okay, so they have a fear, they have an uncertainty things in their mind. That the price may go up, a price may go down, the interest rate may be higher, or the home price may be going down further, right? So this person is in fear or uncertainty. They have a think, okay, what's happening? They don't have a certain information, a solid information to make a decision, right? Anybody else? Why people don't make a decision?
I think people got laid off right now, some of the company, right? So they don't think they can afford the money. So they want to wait until they get a good job and then they will go buy a house.
They worry too. It's just a similar thing. It's they worry, the different types of worry. Okay, let's get into the training today, discussion today. But before, because we talk about the buyer and the seller, we just say, okay, the consumer mostly when they decide to make a decision. Why we discuss the topic today? because we are making decisions every day for ourselves, for other people in the family and the friends as everywhere as well. We also is interacting with our clients, consumer every day, correct? So it's very important that we understand why people don't make decision and why people make decision. Then, so we can help them to make this better decision, smart decision, intelligent decision, or maybe decision that can help them to better future, to have a better future, right? So that's why we have a discussion today. So the consumer, mostly when they decide to buy something, if let's say we have a phone, iPhone somewhere, it's iPhone 14, and maybe Samsung is whatever number now, is a 13 or 23. Now, why they make a decision to buy the phones when people buy the television, or maybe people want to make a decision to traveling, for traveling. The first thing is that they will have to see, okay, what really needed. They really want it. First of all, they want it first. They need first, right? I want to go travel. The phone is so beautiful, I want it. So they will define what they want, number one. So most of the time, people that decide to, because the consumer want to do something, they will define what they need. The next step is they go in to do the research, find out the information about that product or what they need, correct? Okay. So that's a consumer. And then the next step, that's when talking about a consumer. We're not talking about ourselves yet. But the consumer is normal, is right there. If you ask them, you want to buy it? You want your friend, okay, you want to buy it? What do you need now? I want to buy a phone. First thing they find about a phone. The second is, okay, they will research. Okay, what's the iPhone 14 look like? What's the feature? What's the camera qualities? So that's next step, natural way to do. And the consumer is next, they will do comparison, okay? They will dig in and say, okay, is the price good? What's the factor that they decide to buy? Okay, the iPhone sold by their service provider, or go directly to Apple, or maybe they ask a friend working at Apple to buy with a 15% discount. Make an example. So they will decide, they will choose from the option where they're going to do. And then after that, they're going to, okay, it look good, price good, and they go to buy it, purchase. And when they purchase, they will look into the phone and see, okay, after they purchase, they will also review or reflect what they just did. They see, okay, is it worth the money to buy? Yeah, they enjoy it. So that's the way that consumer do it. It's the same thing for house and real estate. When they decide to buy the house, and they go in to do some research, and they gather information, and they compare this house and the other house from this zip code to another zip code. And then they decide, okay, they buy it, they decide to buy it, and then they're living there, and then they enjoy it. Okay, they say to your friends, and they talk, okay, this agent is really good. He helped me, or she helped me to purchase a home, and the price is a really good price. That is consumer. Okay, but the problem is still there. Because every day we still confront with the buyers that they cannot make a decision, or they make very slow decision. With the market today, with the situation today, with the economy today, we need to make a quick decision. Otherwise, the house is sold to somebody else, and you lose the clients, right? And if your clients lose opportunity on them, if we are slower than them, then they might go with the different agents. So let's dig in today. So here's the thing: the buyers and consumer. Most of the time, they decide not to buy because they focus too much on what they lose. I buy this, it's overpriced. Or this is a good house to buy in a good area, or this house doesn't have a garage parking. They find a problem to stop themselves from moving forward. Okay? The buyer, they decide the 5 steps I just told you. But when they stop, and it's slower, and whatever, they don't listen to us. I noticed I met a guy just a few days ago. Whenever I talk, they say, I thought he listened to me, and finally, he talks something else. Something doesn't make sense at all. They say, he doesn't listen. So here's the thing. That is a consumer. So we have to understand what the step they're thinking. Now, and it's different. Because we understand people, not us. People always have fear. Like Alex said, They always find a reason not to do. And why? They always focus on the problem. Is it right? Is it true?
Yeah.
The problem always focus on the problem. They find a reason to say no instead of reason to say yes. But here at this company, I just want to talk today. So we are leaders. We focus on solution. We not just only focus on the problem. The problem is always there, but we focus on the solution. And we will make decision every day for yourself, for your clients, for your buyer, for your sellers. Okay.
Leon, can I say something here?
Yes.
Because you said that people always find reason to not moving forward because they have fear. And fear comes from not knowing enough. So it's our job as agents and brokers to educate our client. If we educate them well, they have all the information they need, there will be no fear. So it's our job.
Of course. So the reasons we talk today, and then we will have a conclusion what we're going to do next, or each individual will decide, okay, what we're going to do. But what we're going to do to provide information today is what a buyer, a people, a consumer behavior, a thinking in a natural way. Okay, and we understand as why people did not make decision or make decision, and the most consumer focus on the problem instead of solution. And we are here at PacificWide, we offer solution. Okay, so that is the thing. So we understand that most people we talk about in this last few minutes, that the people focus on the fear and the thing that they're losing, something that they unsure, right? So they worry about the fear. Fear is because they don't believe it. They did not believe it. They don't have a belief. They don't think it's happened. They worry is something is happened. It's not benefit them. It's disadvantage in a disadvantage way, right? Or maybe I notice a lot of people in the past when I'm doing showing homes. I'm showing too many homes. I just try, okay, let's understand. Let me show you more homes so you can make a clear decision. And they have too many options, so they don't buy at all. That's okay, any house have any house, and they probably have a good kitchen, but they also have a good bath. This one doesn't have a good kitchen, but they have a good bathroom. And this one doesn't have these two, but they have a good view. So we gave them too much options. They overwhelm them, and they don't make decision at all. See that? So we have to understand why people have a fear. They don't believe, they have too many options, they don't have a clear information, of course they don't have money, right? But it's assuming they don't have money, it's also a problem. So let's see what we can help them. Maybe they have a less down payment, so we have an option for less down payment program, loan program to help them. So first thing is, as a leader, we have to have a clear vision. We understand what people's behavior, so we're going to find a solution for them. Okay, so first thing. So here's the 4 steps that we're going to do, okay, in our daily life. At PacificWide, we show you a few steps, procedures to make decision. Then later, when you understand the bias, again, people's problem, people behaviors, and now we know how to make decision for ourselves. And now we use that technique to help the buyers. Okay, at the end of the conversation today. Okay, so it's 4 tips that we're going to talk first. The first thing is we have to, if we want to make a decision, let's say we want to buy a house. Okay, we want to come to training today. Let's say we want to make a travel trips. This summer, first thing, we get the resources. Correct. We have to understand what we want. And we talk it like we are consumer. We got all the information in the internet about the destination. What is happening today at the PacificWide training? Why did we buy the house? And that's house, what is the square feet size? How big is small size? Now, we talked about it earlier a little bit. Most people focus on the losing, but they forget how they are going to get. So here's the thing. When you confront to anything, any That's it, any problem every day. I want to tell you this. Don't call it a problem. Because when this, the power of your word, when you say problem, is really problem, is imprinted in your mind. Talk about situation. With the situation today, what we going to do next? Instead of saying, what with the problem today? The problem, when it say you solve it, it will be your problem. As I said, 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago, when a pandemic, 2 years, 3 years, almost 3 years ago, it's a pandemic came. Again, everybody say there's a problem. And when I say the problem, which means we cannot fix the problem, it's difficult to fix it. So most people will stay in home and worry and say, okay, oh my God, look like we have to stay in home until the virus is getting away or acute. I got a problem too. I had a problem too. I just tell you, tell you everybody here is the situation. Okay, no problem. Okay, I say okay, and I'll look into the situation and gather information about coronavirus, what the virus was mean to us. I was sitting in front of my house, and I'm sitting in there, and I'm listening and watching the news, and I call it is a situation. With the situation at that time, what should have done? So I decided to make some decision. I don't want to tell you the story, but that is the decision I made at that time. I didn't call it as a problem. I got a situation which made the situation change. When we got a situation changed from this stage to another stage to another stage. It's not a problem, because a problem is almost permanent. So don't say it's a problem. So every day when you see the buyer deny, okay, they don't want to make a decision, and any seller doesn't want to accept your commission suggestion. Let's say you want 6%, 5%, but they say, okay, I want to pay 4.5%. It's not a problem, but the situation, the seller's this situation today, what we're going to do next. So you can find a solution, okay? So that's it. Now, so every day occurs, and we talked about earlier, we have to define what you want. Now the next one, and then we will see, okay, pro and cons. Advantage and disadvantage. We have to list out. Okay, now that's prepare for the decision making. The next step. Okay, thing is here, every problem every day we have, any situation, anything we have to make a decision every day occurs as small, you can think in your head. But it's something that is big and you're not really familiar with, or maybe it's not become your habit there. Let's start making a decision first. Put it in paper. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so again, I don't mean it's everything you put on paper. You come to the training, you have to write in the paper. No, you don't need it. I'm talking about a bigger decision. But when you start become becomes your habit, become professional in making decision, or is a great leader. Yeah, you can only write out your plan or strategy on a paper with the big things on it. Okay, just let you know. Okay, now it's moving on. I want to go to the next step. Here, it's the sixth step here. This is very important. Every day, again, before we go into the 6 steps, I want to show you 6 steps that to make decision. Before we move in that, I just want to let you know, every day, with this current situation today, the war in Ukraine and the war between Ukraine and Russia, and the economy, inflation today, with the housing market uncertainty today, the data are good and bad every day, up and down, that make us stop and go, just like you put a brake on your car. So it's very important you have to have a make decision every day. Because people, the buyer and people in your family will look up at us every day. Even this is company is just as this size, but I have to make so many decisions every day. It become just make a decision, and we'll base on these steps that when I make decision every day. And when the crisis happening, people to look at each other, what we want to do next. And if we only make decisions, they will look it up and you become a leader. And regardless, the consequences, okay, I'm talking about consequences later, but with some consequences may be a very good or average, or maybe it is a bad. But that decision made will make you move forward. Otherwise, you stay at the same place. And when you stay at the same place, it keeps staying in the same place, and the people just pass you. They go over you. Okay? And then on the market there is going to somebody else. Again, if we don't make decision today to do next, tomorrow and next week, your buyer that you are taking care of will go with different agents. The seller, if you don't make a decision for the seller, you think the seller might wait for us. No, the answer, they will go, or maybe they'll be losing the patient with us or with you, and they will go with the next agents. If you don't make a decision today, probably they still go with you in this transaction, but they will not refer a new clients or your relatives, their friends to you. So this is very important. So only make decision because I heard a lot, I work with a lot of people, they say, that guy, even though the outcome was not the best, but he made decision for me. And the buyer, when they come and the seller can come to us, they have their decision in their mind, but that's uncertain. They have a fear. That's why they need us. And if we say it's up to you, I see a lot. It's up to you to decide. Okay, that's my opinion, but up to you to decide. And then way back, and if you make decision, call me. Oh my God, it took too long. And then those clients don't need us anymore. Because I had to come to you, I want to hear your opinion, and I want you to push me. Or push harder, or softer, or lighter. It depends on the situation, not a problem. The situation. Okay. So that is the thing. So the buyer doesn't make a decision, it's not a problem. It's a situation. That type of buyer. Right? We understand. We talk about a consumer, why they're not making a decision. If the seller doesn't want to sign an agreement today at a certain commission rate, and we want, as we want, because that situation doesn't allow him or her to do. So what are we going to do next? Okay? So here's a 6 step to do. The 6 step here is that I learned from the training from Tony Robbins. There is a similar ways out there that people learn from somewhere. But I think it's a 6 step here look like it's clear. So I want to present it. Okay. The first thing, just like the buyer, the consumer, first thing you have to find out what is the goal, what's the outcome, what is the vision you think if you make a decision. I bought a house in South Lactaho last year, almost a year and a half ago. So in my mind, I have already visualize how the house look like and what we're going to do with that. So what the outcome from purchase the home, we call it the outcome. In this one, those contacts is about outcome. So we got to define, we see the vision, we draw the picture in our mind. What is the outcome from this decision? Okay? And the next steps, what's the option we have? What option we have? How many houses we're going to see? Either buy this house, or buy this house. Or I make a decision to purchase the camera, this camera, or that camera. If I don't have this camera, the other camera, which option I have? So for example, so long we have an option, right? I think buyers are the same, we the same. We choosing the real estate company to work with is have an option as well. So everything we have, we just do very natural way now. Everybody understand it. And next thing is, we talk about is what happened if we make that decision? What is after that? We have an option, and if we choose one option, this option, or we choose this option, what is next? What's happened? I'm going to have a house in 30 days. I'm going to live there. I'm going to rent out, or the buyer will decide what to do it. So what is happening? So what is what we see? Okay, what option and what happening? Okay, so breaking down the 6 steps and 2 phases. The first phase, why we name it, it's just an OOC, so people can easy to understand and remember. So first 3 steps. The fourth step is we have to see, okay, we evaluate, okay, which option is the best. So I buy this home, it's cheaper. The other is higher. This is more room, less room. This have a view, this is a better view. And this one is probably, okay, have a home more rental because people like the views. And this one is a bigger rooms, for example. So this how we evaluate. Always, every day we do the same. Make sense, right? So that's the fourth step. Evaluate. And the fifth step is mitigated, which means reduce. What happened is, okay, there's nobody rented the house. What's the problem? No, this is not the situation if you don't rent a house. Okay, if you don't rent a house, let's call the housing authority. So if you rent it out as, let's say, $4,000, $5,000. You want $7,000, but what's the exit strategy? In case it's worst case scenario, I go into the housing authority. To rent out $5,000 still okay. So talk to your buyer. In the worst case scenario, you don't have to worry. You can resell it, and I can sell it for you without charging your commission. Let's say that way. I can fire you a better tenant. Or this housing authority, his information housing authority now is a 3-4 bedroom. It's only you can charge $4,500 per month. So we give them the information that can reduce the risk of the investment, right? So the thing is that the final is we just make a decision and move forward. And then when we provide information, again, this one map back to that's a decision we are going to do every day for ourselves. Okay, when decision for business, decision for family, decision for ourselves. Now, but let's map this one to what the buyer will look. At the beginning, I'm talking about a buyer. They make decision because they need it. The second is the buyer, when they make decision, they see it and it's like, okay, what information? They need information. So we are the person to provide information to the buyer. When we understand, we decide to work with the buyer, and now we have to prepare for the buyer, provide the buyer information. And give them, this step is similar to our third step, which is evaluation. We will explain to them the pros and cons. If you purchase this house and you versus purchase another house. See that? And then they will make decision, when they make decision to buy. With that, of course, you will have an option. They have an option, and then you will explain, and then you will, if they need resources, you provide more resources, loan programs, maybe down payment assistance, or maybe creative ways so they can decide, make decision. Now, when they finish purchase or make decision, stay with them. Send them a thank you email, and thank you email gifts, and then some survey. I think Shara is here, or not? In here. Okay, Shara here. And she just closed her first transaction. She just got a new license last year. She joined the company. She closed the first transaction in her life career, and with the company the first time as well. And when closing 2 days ago, I looked into her Facebook. She posted on Facebook, so everybody can always saw it, see it. And I see that she gave us, this doorstep mat, the mat. And also she put the cake and she put the wine and flower to welcome the new buyer, the first time buyer to the house. It's very impressed. So that is the step that the buyer normally, when they buy it, they will get into the house and we say, okay, did I make this wrong decision? I have stuck with the house for 30 years. But Shara has also brought in the moment that the buyer feel this is the house that belonging to the buyer. And then the buyer was so happy. And I think it's the buyer, and likely based on the pictures, I think it's the buyer will come back to her or refer friends, a customer to her more in the future. And that's the thing. So that is the thing. So again, the buyer, we talk about the buyer expectation, what they want to want, what they need, right? They gather information. They have the evaluation, what's the option they have. They gather information about that product they want to get, and it's the option and what they're going to buy, and they look back, reflect what they buy. Now, in our decision, we understand the decision we make every day. We have a 6 steps to do. First is the outcome. What we're going to do is what we're going to get, right? So we also list out the option, and we evaluate pro and cons, the advantages and with the different options. And then we will reduce, we see if we can reduce, evaluate and we reduce the risk. What is the worst case scenario? Again, in my business, in my daily life, every day, I make decision, I have options. I always have at least 2 to 3. Never give yourself one option only, because people say we agree, one option doesn't mean no option. You have no way, you have no choices. You have to choose, and that's only one, so you have no option. People say, one option, you have one option, no, I have no option, because one minus one is 0. You don't have any choice. 2 options is still not enough, but normally take 3 options. Offer to your buyer is about the same. Show 3 houses max. Don't just show them one house. If they show one house, you're lucky. But if you show them one house and ask them to buy right away, they thought we are pushing them. And they will walk away or they will not return if they buy it this time. Because we are so aggressive. So we talk about the option, remember? The outcome, the goal, but give yourself 3 options. So you can choose which one is the best. You can evaluate and think, okay, if I pick this option, then what is happening? Consequences. Evaluate it. And what happened in the worst case scenario, what do I do with that? What I exit from there? What is the minimum damage I have? Right? And that's the thing. So to make a decision, and then transparent and related those information, how you make decision every day, and also see how the normal buyers or seller behave every day, merge them together, and then we will win the deals. If you don't win it today, probably because it's just started. But you keep doing that every day, it's a small thing, and every day, and then one day, very soon, not just of years, it's become your habit, and you become a leader, leading yourself to make decision what to do, and then the buyers, the consumer, will see you and will look at you, and they will say yes to you. And if you have wondered why a lot of real estate agents getting higher commission, listing commission, if you have wondered why some agents they work less, but the buyer is still, we talk about seller, whatever with the buyer still come and say, can you help me to buy the house? What do you think? They keep asking you for advice because they see you can make decision. You thought I didn't talk today how to get the more deals, but actually that's an invisible technique. And people see it and see your face, see your behavior, see your result, and they will come. And any problem? Oh, my wife and I and my kids want to move out of this house. Oh, my kids want to move up to far away from the city for this education. What can I do? So they have some thought in their mind, but they still come to you and ask questions because they see you make decisions a lot. And I'm just tell you the truth. I have many people come to and ask me a decision, but I'm not in their boat, in position. But I was surprised, why you ask me? This is your problem. This is your family, personal, why? But I'm still asking, what is the reason? Why? What's the outcome? What do you need? And find out. And then we talk about next time, how do we find out what they need? Sometimes they really don't need it, but that's what they want. Sometimes they want it, but they don't need it. So we talk about that maybe next time. So people come make decision as to the outcome. They define the outcome based on their need or their wants. So it depends. Sometimes they start with the need, but they make decision based on what they want. It's a message. It's clear. For example, you need a car to transport you to the training today, mostly because you don't have a car. But when you decide to buy the car, you buy the luxury car, luxurious. Why? Because you want a better car. So you start with the need of people ended by the want. So we will understand left and right, inside and outside, and then you will see how people make decisions, how to drive people, influence people. That's very important. And that's going to give you one other tips, not in the context today. For example, you talk to the buyer. We will see that, okay, they buy it because, so here's the thing. I want to talk about this one first. First, if you want to influence people, you need to build a relationship with them first. And how to build a relationship with them is another technique. There's many ways. People hear about mirror, repeating, they see you are aligned with them. For example, that's one technique. Correct. Or maybe you talk in the same language. That's why we are talking different language. It's hard to get together. Maybe you have in the same, kind of understanding each other. Probably there's a lot of things we're going to discuss next week. How to build, the relationship with clients, not like friendship, not like familyship, but I mean, there's something that you need to connect with them in order for us to make them, help them to make a decision. We'll talk more about next time. Okay, but today we just talk about decision making. This is value. You have to make it clear and help them. Okay? Is it good? Okay, so again, understand people, how they make decision, how we learn how we make decision in a better way, so we can help our clients and other people make decision. Make decision because we are leaders, and the only one leaders can be more success, get more success, go ahead of people. Yeah. Okay. So yes.
For your prediction, it's gonna be better maybe for the price range?
I'm sorry?
For your prediction, what do you think? The prices will come up a little bit more probably?
Let's say that question is your consumer asking.
Yeah.
You are acting like a seller or maybe a buyer. Is the price getting better? So you want the outcome is you want the price higher, correct?
Yes.
And you don't have enough information. You consumer, you need information consumer. So you can evaluate and decide to sign a contract with me today. And I am the leader today. What am I going to do? Here's the thing. I'm going to provide you more information to you because that's what consumer needed. I provide so you can explain to you, evaluate. Just a step number 3 here is the number 4 here, evaluation. And I say, if you decide to sell it today, what's the consequences? Step number 3 today. It's what happened. You sell today, how much you lose, what percentage, what probability that you lose, what's the probability the price go up more or less, what's inflation go up or go down. You see that? Yeah. Okay, if you sell today, what are you going to do with the option? You're going to use money to buy another house, or you use money to put in a gas saving? You want to put all this house, the money in the sale price today to one property or spread into 2 properties. One is for your living and one is for your investment. So we will provide more information and options for you, evaluation you, and minimize the risk of your investment so you can make a decision. You see that? Yes. So your concern is the normal way, the buyer, the seller. I am the leader. I use the technique I'm telling you in 6 steps here. I transfer it to meet your need. Okay. I want you to plan it together. When I'm talking probably nonsense, look here is make sense, but when you apply you feel it's nonsense. But if you can merge them together, you see, your leadership of making decisions, you're making decision-making leadership techniques will help you to satisfy the consumer decision-making. Okay, so that's all about. Okay, anybody have a story to tell? Maybe one. It's okay. How you make decision in the past? How you make decision during the pandemic? How you make decision to purchase a home? Any example you want? Any decision making that you story you could share with people here? Okay, so if Anna, I think you have a paper you want to share. Okay, here's the paper is here. If you don't have it, you can share over here. So in the paper we gave you, there is the 6 step. You look at here, 6 step I showed you earlier. Now you can list out. You can do it at home. I think we don't have now time. You can do it at home. Okay, list out what the pick any outcome. Okay, you have not made decision yet. Maybe in the past one, and list out, follow the steps and answer it. You is the step of the practicing how to make decision. And then review it and read it again, and then start doing it every day. Okay, I want to buy a drink. Should I buy it? Coffee or smoothie? Small decision first. Outcome. Is it good? So, and then if I drink smoothie, I have more vitamins in my body. Coffee, more caffeine. Right? Okay. What happens with more caffeine? And what happens if you have more vitamin C? So you see, follow it and you decide what you're going to do. Let's have a small thing first and then go bigger every day. I will guarantee that you will influence people because your decisions show your strength. We look at more intelligence. Look like we are growing and we're changing every day. We might not mistake with 1 decision or 2 decisions, but the more decision you're going to make following the procedure, you will be. I think this will be big. It's a success.
Any staff want to share your past decision?
Now, yeah, and you make decision you haven't made, or you did make. Why let's see. Why you decide to buy a house in Stockton? Let's say that way. What decision? How decision you make?
Okay, so I make the decision to buy the house in Scotland because of my family. So I want my mom and my sister and my niece have a better life and start with the new environment. They don't have to get much check from the big city like San Jose.
Good.
So that's why I make the decision to buy a house.
Why Stockton? That's option, right? Why San Jose? Why is Elbro?
Stockton is the big city like San Jose. They have a lot of Vietnamese now come to Stockton. So my family, my mom and my sister, they have entered to the market in Stockton with many culture like in San Jose. So that's why.
What's the downside?
Yeah.
If you purchase a house.
The price of the house in Stockton very look like just half of price or just 1/3 of San Jose. So very like many people just from the other country come to the San Jose. They feel like they have too much trade. They have to pay for a lot of money for the renting the house and the food. So when they come to Stockton, they don't have to worry about have to work every day and get more money to pay for like the San Jose city we live now. So that's why.
But you.
Stockton is good place for the people to come. Yeah.
So that's good, but what is the downside? Which means you list on the good things. I think when you have a good vision, that your families would be very happy living in the area with the communities, and not too far from San Jose.
Yeah.
But what is the downside? Which means disadvantages of buying a house? You thought about?
For the downside. If some people like they work for the electronic company or the engineering, they need a job to get a higher salary. So maybe it's far away from them from travel from Stockton to the Silicon Valley. That's only the downside.
The downside, okay, but that's your situation doesn't. You mitigate the downside because your family don't have a job, didn't have a job in Silicon Valley. Did they have a job?
They got a job here in Stockton.
In Stockton.
Yeah,
Okay.
in Stockton right now they open many positions for the restaurant, restaurant and the hospital.
Mm.
So they hire the many employment here, and I saw the city nearby the Stockton, below that, and also the Arrow. They have many building and many new company open. So the Apple company now open in Arrow, and I saw some my cousin. He engineering of the Apple company. So they bought a house in Arrow too, and yeah.
So can I say something here? Because I look at what Nam's sharing her decision. That's awesome. Because she looked at all the positive thing that's gonna happen for her family. All beautiful, awesome stuff. People make decision based on what benefit them, what bring them happiness. So same thing when you talk to your client and they're not so sure what to do, shift the focus from fear to something that they are dreaming of. Instead of I'm afraid the market going down. Look, based on the U.S. history, 60 years of home price always go up, and it go up in the past since 2013. It go up 165% in home price. So you don't expect to buy this home and then sell it next year, right? You're gonna keep it for a long time. Then what are you worried about? You know that your home price gonna go up more than 100% if you keep it more than 7 years or 10 years. So you shift their focus from fear to happiness time in the future or whatever they dream of. So in order for us to help people to make decision, give them what they want when they buy a house. In their mind, by imagination, you might have to create that vision for them in front of them. Say, oh my God, I can't believe this house gonna work so well for your family. Look at the big kitchen. You have a big family. You're gonna have so many gathering. You're gonna have so many happy moments in there. You're gonna have party after party, or school is so good for your children. Look, if they go to this school, it's so close to your house, you save so much time and they have a very good school, good education. Shift their focus to what makes them happy, what benefit them. And really, they will have something downside coming up, but try to minimize it to the point where it's zero, or they don't even care about it, because all they're gonna see is happiness when they move into the house.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. So how much did you buy this house? That house? What's the price?
Maybe 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, the price of the house just 345,000. So 2 years later, it's go up like 525.
Now?
Yeah.
Okay, it's a 50% of the values,
yeah.
but the
So
down payment probably is zero.
200.
How much down payment did you put down?
Yeah.
How much down payment?
20%.
20% of 350 is 70, and you make it's almost let's say 170, which means you get double of your investment in 2 years. That's a really good investment. Wow, it's good. So the decision she made for her family is got a reward today. And she focused on a lot of positive things that we can realize, as Minja mentioned as well. So of course, she put the fear away. She says, I always win. That is because she have a lot of information again, because she's a realtor. So she have a belief. So there's no fear in her decision. Next slide here, okay? So it's fear. There's no fear in her mind. That's why she make decision. Well, she put the outcome and she mitigate the risk, to reduce the risk, because she says her family doesn't go have a job, or they can find a job in Stockton or Lodi or Elk Grove, not too far from here, because Apple's opened the facility in Elk Grove, for example. So those information that has helped her to mitigate or reduce the risk of purchasing the house. And since okay, it's at least if something is going on, there's her family still living there and paying is a mortgage, an affordable mortgage. So those kind of information help her to make a decision. So we need to transfer that decision, the clarification, explanation, or strategy to your buyers or seller. Again, we lack of communication. We don't have a relationship with your clients. You didn't have spend time with your clients. You didn't study what they want. And that is why the buyer doesn't make decision, the seller doesn't make decision. Make sense? Okay? So information to the client, what they want or they need it. They want information. They want an option, so they can make decision. They need your advice, okay, your leadership advisory, in order for them to move forward. Think about that. But you have to train ourselves first. It has to be from outside first. If we cannot make decision for ourselves, how good we can guide our clients? So the topic today is just we are the leader. We have to do first and make decision every day. So whoever come out this training today, make some small decision, write down in the papers, and then become a leader. Okay? Thank you very much, everybody, and hope you have a good time. Okay. So